The video review will start in a few seconds, but if you're watching this on YouTube, remember, if you have a question, comment, or suggestion for me, you can post it on 3dgameman.com, and the link is provided below. Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds from 3dgameman.com, and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the Be Quiet Power Zone 850 watt power supply. A very rugged looking box that has a picture of the product on the back, as well as features and specifications about it. Now let me go ahead and remove this plastic on the outside to see what's on the inside. Oh, and they do have this seal sticker here, so let me cut that. It's packaged very well. Included is a user's manual. In the middle is the power supply, which is in its own bag. It has a little tie here at the top, so you can secure it. Have a look at this in just a minute. On either side, they have a couple of boxes, and in each, they include the modular leads, plus some fan connectors, the power cord, plastic cable ties, and screws. Oh, and they do have protective plastic here. Let me remove it. The Dark Power Zone line of power supplies are currently available in a number of different wattages: 650, 750, 850, and 1000. Now, I'll be reviewing the 850 watt model today. Now, how is this wattage determined? Well, to understand this, you need to know what rails are. And rails are basically well-regulated transformers which convert domestic current into the voltages that your computer system can use. And there are essentially two different rails: the 3.3/5 volt rail and the 12 volt rail. Now, in this particular case, the approximate maximum peak output of the 3.3/5 volt rail is 160 watts, and the 12 volt is 840 watts, which is essentially how the wattage of this power supply is determined. The 3.3/5 volt rail is responsible for the motherboard, memory, PCI cards, and so on, while the 12 volt rail is responsible for the hard drives, optical drives, fans, CPU, video cards, etc. It's also important to know the peak amps on each rail. Well, the plus 3.3 volt and the plus 5 volt rails are both 25 amps each, and there's a single plus 12 volt rail, and that's 70 amps. Now remember, when you're purchasing a power supply, do not cheap out. Get a brand name power supply that has a really good warranty, and also one that has quality power and is efficient. I'll go through some of these different things that you should be looking for when selecting your power supply. One of the first is wattage. There's no point in getting a power supply that's going to cost you more and be, higher wattage when you don't need it. So determine how much wattage you are going to require by the amount of hardware that you will be installing. Now, generally speaking, a medium to high-end gaming rig will require a power supply between 500 to 700 watts for a hardcore system, which is where this power supply would be good for. Get a power supply that's around 800 watts. If, however, you are building an extreme gaming rig, with multiple video cards and lots of other hardware, select a power supply that's 1000 watts or greater. Second, it should be at or above 80% efficiency at typical load, and that will not be a problem for this power supply because its efficiency is up to 89%. Third, it should meet the latest ATX and other current standards, environmental directives, overvoltage, undervoltage, and other protections. This power supply meets all current standards. Fourth, I'd recommend choosing a power supply that has APFC. APFC, or active power factor correction, assists the power supply in being more efficient and therefore stable under load. APFC basically reduces total harmonics, it corrects input voltage, and it allows for full input voltage range. Thankfully, this power supply has APFC. Fifth, there are three main certifications: 80 plus, NVIDIA SLI, and AMD Crossfire. Now, many of today's high-end power supplies meet one or more of these certifications. This is definitely a high-end power supply. It meets the 80 plus bronze certification, but it is also NVIDIA SLI and Crossfire certified. Additionally, this power supply is ERP 2013 ready, meaning standby power drain is at a minimum. Sixth, look for a power supply that uses Japanese capacitors because it ensures a much more reliable product than a power supply with low-grade capacitors. And this power supply uses 100% 105-degree Japanese-made electrolytic capacitors, as well well as solid-state capacitors. Finally, get a power supply that has enough leads for your setup. Also consider a power supply like this one that has a modular design because it reduces the cable mess inside the case. Also, it's important, very important, to get a power supply with an excellent warranty. And this power supply comes with an incredible 5-year warranty. It comes with a black paint finish and the housing is steel, but also very rugged. It has this super tough appearance. They include a very quiet 135mm silent wings fan with airflow optimized fan blades. Let's just have a closer look at those blades. A pretty cool fan grill here as well, but let's get back to the fan. It has an advanced fluid dynamic bearing with copper core, and this greatly reduces operating noise and extends life. Also, a special 6-pole motor reduces power consumption and vibration. Now let me go through the noise specs. At 20% load, it's 15.5 decibels. At 50% load, it's 17.5 decibels. And at 100% load, it is 35.9 decibels. Note that this power supply has a feature called cool off. And what this does is keep the fan running for around 3 minutes after the system is completely shut down. Of course, this will help protect valuable components when they are at their maximum heat stress. Note the many ventilation holes, as well as the power switch and the power cord connection. Now, as you can see, they include lots of modular leads. These are all sleeved. This power supply, by the way, is 100% modular. There is nothing that is hardwired into the power supply. Modular leads I love because, well, you only need to use the ones required for your particular setup. And of course, this looks great, but it also increases airflow inside the case. Now, note that I mentioned that they include 3 fan connectors at the beginning of the video review. Well, here is where they get connected. You can connect up to 3 fans for optimized system cooling that is thermally controlled by the power supply, quieting your whole system. The sleeving job that they've done is fantastic. It's woven very tightly, so it's going to stay in place, protect the cables, and keep everything together. Finally, have a listen to the 135mm fan. So what you have here is an excellent overall power supply from the outside to the inside. The styling on this is exceptional. The build quality, fit and finish is really, really good. Comes with a quiet 135mm fan. It is 100% modular and offers quality power. But it is 80 plus bronze certified, not 80 plus gold certified, nor is it 80 plus platinum certified. And by the way, Be Quiet has those power supplies that meet those certifications if you are interested. So, is a power supply with the 80 plus bronze certification a big deal? You know, should you go with the gold and the platinum certifications for most people? No. This is more than adequate. And as a matter of fact, this power supply meets the AMD Crossfire as well as the NVIDIA SLI certifications, so you can use this in a really hardcore gaming rig, no problem, and you can have a multiple video card set up with it. Overall, this is a kick-ass product. Until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and please note that pricing for this product is available on the 3D Game Man video review page.